Hello, everybody. We're back. I probably don't need to say this, but I'll say it anyways. You know the routine. No nets, no edits. Trying to make this as real as we can for you. I want you to feel like we're just kind of hanging out and talking. So I'm going to defer to my wife, Beverly. She's got some questions, great questions this week. Look, if I don't get your question, go ahead and submit it again. I know someone keeps asking about Pete from Dago. I forget the gentleman's name that keeps asking the question. Uh, I'll get to it at some point in time. It's hard to put everything together. I kind of got an idea where I want to go with this program, and I just hope you'll bear with me. Okay. So, anyways, what we got there, Beverly?
Okay, lots of comments on the cross on the wall here.
Yeah, the
I
sh- shooting from a different angle
okay.
today, so you don't see the cross. But the the cross is really was a gift for my mom. I don't remember ever not having it. It always hung in the hallway. I you know I came from a religious Greek Orthodox family. I'll tell you a quick funny story. Uh, my grandfather, he would get up every morning. He was strict Greek Orthodox. He had the icons, the Greek icons, the religious figures.
A
They all
little altar. Did he have
He
like
had
a
an
little
altar.
altar in
He had the lights uh, always on at the altar. If there wasn't a light, a low beam light there, there was a candle going. I think they had incense burning from time to time. And he had a strict rule. He never addressed anybody until he said his daily morning prayer. And I remember he got up one morning, and I was spending the summer there with him, and which was a big treat for me. And I came running in the house. I was shooting my guns off, and I was asking a bunch of questions. And he turned to me and he said, "God damn Jesus Christ! Can't you see I'm praying? Leave me alone." And I just thought, man, this guy must be tight with God to get away with all those cuss words in a prayer. But it was always a fun summer, and I'm going to add this. The clubhouse was 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away from my grandfather's house. Of course, it was just a old fire. It was an ambulance station at the time. David and I figured out what it was, but that's my little story on the cross. You know what? I believe everybody should have the ability to express their spirituality. Just don't try to shove it down my throat or your neighbor's throat. Okay.
or when they in the name of
In the name,
religion
yeah, that's another thing I had written
they
down in the notes.
espouse
Yeah,
violence.
violence in the name of God is not. You know, I know with eye for an eye. You can go back to the Old Testament, but uh, you know, don't blow people up because you think God wants you to. Anyways, next one. Let's get
Okay.
back on the track here of outlaw bikers
Okay, this
culture.
one's from Tubbers. Big Brother concert 1966 changed me.
You,
Probably and everybody. That was
yeah, well, and I believe that. I can name a couple of concerts. Saw the Jefferson Airplane live. That was a very heavy concert. Seeing Grace Slick up there singing. Uh, Seeing Cream was another one. Of course, the Rolling Stones. So you've got these events that take place at a young age, and they do affect you. So I totally relate to that.
oh great. This one's from Jeff Sellers. What about Beverly in the hot seat?
Well, you want to see Beverly in the hot seat? Go to Patreon. Beverly and I uh, do a half hour, 45-minute Q&A on Patreon. They are from Patreon subscribers. You've got to be a subscriber to submit the questions and to see the video. It's $4.99. Not going to break you. Uh, check it out, and if you don't like it, just unsubscribe. Right?
Right.
Yeah, and I put Beverly really on the hot seat over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like I
just
really put Beverly on the hot seat.
right. Okay, rock on. Did you ride with South Carolina Angels?
Well, I used to go down south. I just talked about this a few episodes back, going down Thunder, hanging out with him and whatnot. After Thunder's murder, uh, I was in the Thunder camp, so my charter was very protective. They didn't want me going down there and hanging out like I had been because we weren't sure what was going to happen. If there was going to be some more political moves, everybody knows what happened down there. If you saw the video, if you didn't see the video, check it out. It's a couple back.
Okay, Second Chance Recovery writes, I thought Waylon was more associated with the Outlaws.
Well, I think Waylon, Willie, of course, David Allan Coe, who was an outlaw for a particular period of time, uh, they had a relationship with them. But what you have to understand, Deacon, Oakland Hells Angel, Boomer, Oakland Hells Angel, were part of Waylon's security team. And I promoted concerts, had a personal relationship with his management company as well as Waylon himself. I never dealt through the artist. When I wanted to promote a concert, I did it in a legitimate type way. I would, call them and we would work a contract out. It wasn't like, yeah, come on to town. We're going to have some fun. Even with Paycheck, I did the same thing with Paycheck. And everybody knows I locked Paycheck in a room one night because of his drinking. But it created a little tension because I know Waylon and Willie wanted to bring David Allan Coe into California. And I don't know all the facts of it. There was a threat of a bomb, perhaps a bomb planted on a bus. David Allan Coe, one of his albums, he's riding a bike wearing an outlaw patch. So, it created some tension. But we never, Waylon and Willie kind of left it out. They didn't drag it into the club politics. But he did hang out with the Hells Angels. He was more of a Hells Angel guy than I think a outlaw guy. But anyways, my opinion.
Okay, this guy, I love his name, Frank and Beans. Would love to hear about the ride to Sturgis with Little George.
Well, I'll tell you, if you go back to one of the Speak of the Devil, it's here on YouTube. But if you go back, uh, I do an episode on when Georgie rode his first Harley into Sturgis, and you can find it there. If you can't find it, write me again, and maybe I'll just revisit that story real quick one of these episodes.
Okay, Howard Turgill, can you expand on Mom's his rise and fall?
Well, Mom's was a very aggressive guy. Everybody knows the history up in Canada. They were very serious guys. They had some serious wars going on up there. People getting killed on both sides. I know people have always, well, what did Sonny think about this? Well, I'll tell you, down here in the United States, we didn't tell those guys what to do up there because they would have done what they wanted anyways. So, Mom's, he was very aggressive. He was a gangster, man. And he burned a lot of bridges. And at some point in time, it happens to a lot of people. It happened to me in a sense. You get people that turn against you. And Moms was in prison. He couldn't defend himself. And he got pushed out of the club. And, that's a rule. You can't get voted out of the club when you're in prison. But, they did it. And stuck by their guns. And ultimately, Mom died. He's dead now. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. But I'll get into a whole episode on Moms one of these days.
Mr. Wascally writes, are biker outlaws modern day pirates?
Well, I think in a sense, you could consider them pirates or Western outlaws instead of uh, horses were riding motorcycles. But yeah,
Did
I think it's
pirates
pretty.
ride horses, George?
Pirates sail the seas, Beverly.
Right. Where do the horses come in?
I'm talking about Western outlaws. See what happens. See, this is why she's not on the show. You have to go to Patreon to see us fight like this. She's just going to push herself right on that camera. She's like inching her way over the chair. Every
I
time
am
I
not.
come out here, the chair looks a little bit closer.
I'm getting further and further away. That's how delusional you
Oh,
are.
now delusional. All right.
Okay, Benson Lee writes Purple Wings and Marilyn Monroe.
You know, I,
This is sick.
I, uh, look, that's what is it called? Netrophilia?
Necrophilia.
Necrophilia. I've heard that rumor. I never heard it associated with the Hells Angels, but then again, when you trigger that stuff in my mind, I think, yeah, maybe I did hear that rumor. But I think that's it. It's nothing more than a rumor.
Well,
I
explain what it is. Not
well,
everybody
everybody knows
understands.
what the wings
No,
are.
they don't.
The what color wings were they? Blue? What?
Purple.
Purple. Purple wings signified you had sex with a corpse, a dead person. Uh, I never saw anything like that running around, but I will tell you, I did see a blue set of wings, and the wing was broken, and that was Dirty Dick had sex with a girl that had one leg.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
anyways, you asked for it, you got it. All right,
Okay,
let's move on. I don't know about Marilyn Monroe. Everybody
that
likes
was a
to.
rumor, George, that went
Yeah,
around.
I remember that rumor. And who was the coroner? What was his name? The Japanese guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had kind of a bad reputation.
Yeah.
So,
Supposedly, somebody paid him some
paid him some
money
money
and
and
he could turn his head while.
yeah, he turned his head. Probably turned his head so he could see.
Chris Junger writes Did you ever ride with some Navy corpsmen?
You know, there were some Navy corpsmen. They were out of the CB base. Wasn't
Duty?
no, it wasn't. You talking about Duty
Yeah.
Juarez? No, Duty Juarez. Beverly's bringing up Duty Juarez. He's an old
Guy that used to
surfer
beat up sailors.
gangster guy, and he used to beat everybody up and a lot of sailors. But there were some Navy corpsmen hanging out at the Ventura Clubhouse in the '90s, I think, the late '90s, and none of them ever came around. I think they got shipped out eventually, but we had some good times with them. But I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Okay, John Ralston has a couple questions
Okay.
here. Did you ever fight a skilled outlaw martial artist on the street? And the second question is Are you a member of the Mile High Club? I kind of like to know that too.
This guy's putting me. What's his name?
John Ralston.
John Ralston's putting me right on front seat. Well, I'm going to get back to the Mile High Club. You know, I never had aggressive action with another outlaw bike guy uh, and fought him with his ability, to fight with martial arts. But I did. I was in the Red Cove bar one night, and a guy came in there looking for me, picked a fight with me, and he was a skilled martial artist. And him and I fought all the way out the bar. Anybody that's been in Ventura knows, where that bar is. It's
Yeah.
the what the hell's the name of that bar? What I just
The
said.
Red Cove.
No, it's not the Red Cove. It wasn't the Red Cove. What was the other one downtown?
Star Lounge.
The Star Lounge. It was a Star Lounge. We fought out to the street. We made our way up the street. We were fighting, and I mean, we were really getting it on. And I kicked this guy right in the solar plex. Had a pair of cowboy boots on, and I kicked him with just a real short roundhouse type kick, and I clipped him right in the solar plex. And I got him in a joint lock, and I flipped him through this window. And this is honest to God truth. I thought it was the end of the fight. And a couple of seconds later, it looked just like a friggin' movie. He jumped out of the window and came back on me. And we fought some more. I finally knocked him out. And my martial arts teacher always had an expression and a saying. He said, "Never hang out and admire your work." So I immediately got on my bike, went to the clubhouse, changed clothes, put a different shirt on, and whatnot. And I kind of rode up back.
In your furry suit.
No, I didn't have a furry suit on. God damn it, Beverly. God damn.
You would have never
You
got
guys
into the
should
Mile High
encourage
Club.
her. And so I came back like I just arrived at the bar, and but he was very skilled, and it was a pretty good fight, and you know, never saw him again. And as far as your second question, as far as the Mile High Club deal goes, I think you should ask your mom about that.
Okay. Ronnie M. 1977 writes this. I want to rip the page up here. He wants insight into Ventura Rob and Vegas guy. Jesus.
Look, uh, that's it for you, Bev.
Yeah.
Bev's leaving us now. Uh, you know, Ventura Rob came to Ventura and came from the Fresno area. When he arrived in Ventura, he wasn't there to transfer into Ventura. He was supposed to help start the Santa Barbara charter. Him and the guy that was going to lead the Santa Barbara charter started having a falling out. And it was they were both cranksters, and one guy was as bad as the other. And I kind
Cranksters
of
or pranksters?
cranksters, drug addicts.
Okay.
But I liked Rob. He seemed like a good guy. Seemed like he had a pretty decent heart, and he had transferred out of his charter, not on good terms, up in the Fresno area, and he asked would I take him in Ventura, and I did. I embraced him, open arms, and he wound up betraying me, if you will. Now I don't know who this Vegas guy is. I don't know what his trip is. I know you guys have been writing me, want me to respond. He says he's got some stuff he's going to pull out of the attic. Look, I never testified against anybody, never put anybody in jail. I'm not worried about whatever he says he's going to do. He's going to do. But I'll tell you, if this guy from Vegas really wants to get some insight into me, he should come to Ventura and look me up. I'm really easy to find. I'm out in the street every day, and I walk 5 to 7 miles a day. I'm easy to find. Ventura's not a very big town, but maybe I'll get into a show in the future and talk about both of them. Perhaps I don't know, but today I want to talk about Sam, and we're going to swing back to Rob at the end of the show, and it all kind of ties in together, and that's what kind of put me onto this. Uh, Samuel George, known as Sam, Botch Varov is how you pronounce it. He was an Oakland Hells Angel. He died Oakland Hells Angel. He was also known as Samson, and that was a name that he had gotten in Los Angeles as a night rider. He was a big man. He had a big beard. He had a natural build. He kind of looked like a cross between a mountain man and an old school biker. He was a night rider who became part of the second Los Angeles chapter of the Hells Angels, not the Waco, but Los Angeles. They changed the name from an acronym to the whole name Los Angeles. Uh, and I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling you the story the way it is. Uh, I only saw him on his bike one time in all those years I ever saw him around. He always claimed to have a bad back, and that's fine. If he had a bad back, he didn't affect me by not riding. He only affected himself, I thought. He was a political dissenter of sorts. He didn't like authority, but it was interesting because he backed Sonny blindly. Anything Sonny liked, he would back him blindly. I think that's why he went to Oakland. He knew Sonny was coming back, and he transferred up there. As soon as the charter of Night Riders became Hell's Angels, the first opportunity he took, he went up there to the Oakland, the Bay Area. He also took about half a dozen LACO members with him. Were they good members? Yeah, I thought they were all good members. I thought Sam was a good member, but he weakened the charter. He hurt the charter, and he caused a lot of animosity between the two charters. His biggest adversary was a gentleman named Laco Bob Lawrence. We called him Laco Bob, big guy, but not big in the sense like Sam. He was overweight, seemed to have a lot of health problems, and him and Sam are at odds. And it may have been from the No Hope with Dope campaign. San Jose Los Angeles Hells Angels went on this big campaign of anti-dope. A lot of people in the club were for it. A lot of people were against it. Sam was. My suspicion is Sam was against it, and the reason Sam was against it was because he was dealing dope. And Sam and I didn't have much in common, with the exception of we were both against the war with the Mongols. But I think Sam had a different agenda. I think Sam and this little crew of guys he took up north were doing business with the Mongols, and they wanted the war settled because if they got caught doing business with the Mongols when the war was on, it would have been a big issue. Uh, didn't see Sam at many officers' meetings, but I know at one of the meetings, uh, Dago was up there, and they were really pushing the war with the Mongols. And there was a member in Dago who he later got murdered. His name was Hideous Hank, and he was a guy, smaller guy about my size, but tough as nails. Seemed to have some boxing skills. I mean, professional boxing skills. And Sam and Hideous Hank fought it out in the Oakland clubhouse after one of the officers' meetings. And Sam was just real frustrated about it. I think he thought he was going to just steamroll over Hank, and he didn't. Uh, do I think there was any connection? I speculate on it in the book a little bit, crossing the Rubicon. This only created more problems, and Sam was getting more and more angry. And he ultimately called out Bob Lawrence, Waco Bob. He wanted to fight Bob, and Waco Bob declined. He was in bad health, but he suggested an alternative resolution, and that alternative was they go out in the desert and have a shotgun duel, and they would go out there with Old Man John, Sam, and Waco Bob, and only two of them would come back. Of course, John wasn't involved in the duel, but Sam declined. Uh, uh, that was kind of the end of it. Bob hung around another year or so, and then eventually his health got so bad he just kind of retired. We didn't have a retirement, but that's what he said. He goes, "I'm going to retire from the club." My first run in with Sam was at Bass Lake in the mid '70s. We had what we called the annual tug of war party, where the southern prospects and the northern prospects would dig a pit, fill it full of the shit from the outhouse, and then we'd have a tug of war, and then the losers would get pulled through the little pool of shit. Well, I refused to do it, and what I suggested as an alternative was uh, all the prospects will work together, and we'll go against the members. And the members didn't like that idea. We had a standoff. I don't think Sam. I don't know if Sam respected me for it or held a grudge for it, but we called off the boots and patches. That's what we used to call it. Called off the tug of war. That was the last. Never did it again. Didn't do it that run. Never did it again. This was a Bass Lake event. And for the next several years, Sam and I had no issues. He did his thing. I did mine. Uh, when Sonny and I started conflicting about the direction of the club, Sam did take Sonny's side. And we never confronted each other personally, but I knew whose camp Sam was in. But we also had a personal business conflict, and I'm not talking about the business of narcotics. I'm talking about we both had a bail bonds company, and Sam and I really had an issue at one point. One of the guys in Ventura, Aaron, I can't remember his last name, uh, wound up getting run off down the road, and wound up debriefing, and everybody finding out about it. Debriefed with the Ventura County sheriffs. But Sam called me and said, "Aaron wants me to bail him out, and I'm going to bail him out." He goes, "I want you to put up the clubhouse for collateral," and I absolutely refused. I go, "Look," I said, "I have a bail company, Sam. If you don't think I'm willing to put him out on a bail, why would you be willing to pull him out on a bail? He's not going to show up for court. It's going to turn into a big scene. And I said, I just don't want to put the Ventura clubhouse in jeopardy. Well, Sam was offended by that, thought I was trying to interfere in his business. Uh, and that kind of bled into Sonny's 911 call. And when the 911 call came up, like I said, I got pulled into that. I got the 911 tape. I transferred it all over to copy so people could read the transcripts, make up their own mind if they were good or bad. This is something Papa and I decided should be done. Sam got really mad about it. Sam called me up on the phone and wanted me to resign, which I told him that conversation is not even open. And I said, that's not a conversation for the phone. I go, why didn't you come down here and confront me? Uh, I told him that's a face to face conversation. I think there was, like I said, some business things. Towards the end of my tenure, uh, Sam sent a letter down, and I refused to accept the letter. I said, take it back to Sam. Tell him he needs to deliver this letter to myself, and I'll read it in front of him, and then we can resolve whatever the contents of the letter say. Somehow, I left the club shortly after that, and I wound up getting indicted by the FBI. And somehow, that letter wound up in the hands of the FBI. And at the time, I had no idea how it got there, how they got a hold of it, but I speculated that somebody was working with the cops. And this goes back to Ventura Rob. We're circling back to what I started this whole thing off. My suspicion is Ventura Rob gave the FBI the letter because they knew that I refused the letter. And when they arrested me, they asked me if they could read the letter to me. And I said, no, Sam's got to read that letter to me. And he's got to do it in person, not on the phone. And he can't have somebody else do it for him. I was being kind of a smart ass. So I refused to accept the letter. My suspicions about the informant came true. There's a gentleman named Crash. He became an informant against me in that 2011 case. Another guy, Jimbo, he became an informant in that case. And the last guy to become an informant in that case, or that was revealed to me, was Ventura Rob. So I don't know why the guy from Vegas Profiles keeps supporting this guy. Uh, you know, he is who he is. Ventura Rob decided to work with the government. That was a decision he made. Uh, I don't know. I don't know why Vegas Profiles always comes back and uh, wants to create a conflict with me. My suggestion to him is come to Ventura and we can work it out somehow, one way or another. Now, I don't want to hear any more about people writing me and saying, what happened with Sam in the letter? That's what happened. Aging Rebel turned it into a big thing. Aging Rebel wound up dying. Sam wound up dying. Had no no responsibility in either one of those deaths. But you know, I try to do these shows. I try to give you guys insight into what's going on with the Hells Angels. That's the problem between me and Sam. I hope that that answered people's questions. Uh, I don't know what Sam died from. Died unexpectedly is the way it's been explained. I think you can look it up on the internet, and it doesn't define how he was died. Just he died. But anyways, that's it for this week. We'll get into something different next week. You want to hear about somebody specifically? Go ahead and send a message in the comments or write me on my Gmail. I hope you guys will stay with me. I hope you'll follow, comment, and like. And if you don't like the commercials or if you want to see Bev and I on camera together, go to Patreon. That's it for this week. I'll see you, everybody. Take care.